What's up, everybody? This your host, Dr. Bartu on Pill Talk Podcast. I got a special guest, Lakesha Quarles, who's coming here today to talk a little bit about being a midwife, being a doula, being a black mother, trying to give us all the info that we need in her realm of being a doula for the ladies out there having childbirth. So, if you don't mind, let's introduce or bring her out. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming on Pill Talk Podcast.
No problem. Excited to be here.
All right. All right. So your profession is being a midwife or doula, as they say, right?
Yeah, so my profession is being a certified holistic doula. I work along with midwives and doctors. Working on that. Midwife may be in my near future with the route I'm going, but right now
Okay.
I'm just a doula, a placenta specialist, and a community breastfeeding educator.
All right. Dope. 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 So two things. Number one, uh, can you break down what is a doula, a holistic doula? And then
Yeah.
number two, we're gonna go into like how do you get certified educator on this. So first, what is a doula?
So a doula for me, everybody may have their own ways of thinking, but what an actual doula is basically a companion for women before, during, and after birth. We provide mental, emotional, and physical support just to help women have like the safest birth possible. More so with the holistic side, we love to go without medicine if possible, but I'm not totally against it, and all doulas are not totally against it. Sometimes we need those interventions, but as a doula, we try our hardest to prevent those interventions from happening.
All right, all right. So the next question, right, is someone wants to get into this field. What is the education or what steps do you need to take to become a doula, a holistic doula?
The steps that you need to take, I definitely advise anyone who wants to become a doula to become certified. I don't think it's something that you should just say, oh, I'm going to wake up and do. It's definitely, you have to have a heart for it. You see many different things. So there are certain type of trainings you go through. There's continuing educations you have to keep going to. There's all types of workshops you attend. So there's many of things. It's just up to you. Like if you want to be a great doula, you just keep learning. You're forever a student, so that never stops.
All right, great, great. So is this something provided at like a technical college or 4 year university, or do you just is there an online course? Like, where can they find the information to actually start the process of learning about it and getting into it?
Okay. Although healthcare is my background, I took the training here in the upstate. So there is a collective called the Set Apart Collective. It was founded by Stormy Harmon. She created this collective for women of color to be able to go out in the community and do birth work. You can, and I'm affiliated with the National Black Doulas Association. So there's many trainings, but those are like the top two that I would recommend. The nationalblackdoulas.org or the setapartcollective.com is where you can find all the information you may need to become a trained and certified holistic doula.
All right, great. So what made you choose this career path of being a holistic doula?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, I'll say I always enjoyed pregnant women. Like I always enjoy the birth stories. I always enjoy seeing them eat different things. I'm a mom myself. I always knew what I wanted to do, but I could never pinpoint it. Like I was in Orangeburg prior to moving here, so it was definitely not heard of down there. So I
Mhm.
moved up here, and some things had happened in my life. Dealing with infertility, miscarriages, and I lost a son, and I was always given like crazy answers, not really a legit reason as to why these things happen, why these things did happen. They could never find a reason. So it was just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. I got tired of going through those emotions. So I started doing my own research. I started reading different things because I knew that I needed to be the one to make a difference. I need to be the one to actually advocate for these women because I didn't have that. So one day, it's crazy how it happened. One day last year, I was just online. I was just scrolling through Instagram. I was on Google, like just looking up different things. And I came across Stormy Harmon's page. So I start being me, snooping through. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl, it's just something about her. So once I clicked on the content and I saw that she was a doula and a birth educator and that she had just started training other women, I was like, oh, no, I got to be a part of this. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is my calling. I feel it. I know it. I need to do it. So I reached out to her. Hit her up. We talked a few, and she finally accepted my application, sent me an email, and I'm like, yes, like I got in. We're gonna do this. And ever since I've completed training, like I've been on it. I know like this is what I want to do. When we start talking about birth, I can't seem to shut up. So yes, like this is how I knew once I came across Stormy's Instagram profile. I was like, okay, God, you sending me that sign. Now it's time to put the work in. So I did, and I'm still in.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so you got into SAC. What is it? What's the
The
name
Set
of it?
Apart Collective.
Set Apart Collective. Yes.
Yes.
You got onto that. You joined the community. You did that. And you became a holistic doula. How long was that process to become a holistic doula?
For our training, it was, well, we got a study guide before. So we did a study guide months before we actually took the class. So you had to do this whole study guide and read these different books, and just dealing with anatomy and just learning the women's body. So we did that prior to going to training. Once we submitted that study guide and she reviewed it, then we had the weekend training. It was like a 8-hour class we did from Friday to Sunday, and then we had like continuing ed things that we talked about and workshops we did after. So with this particular community collective, it was a weekend course. Now some collectives, they do require a year because they have you go out in the field first before joining. Luckily I was able to take the course and get my first client like a week later after that. So I got the work in. It just came. It just flowed.
Hey, it was your calling. That's what it
Yeah, it
was.
just like, and ever since, honestly, I'm telling you, some days I wake up and my emails booming, like my Instagram booming, my website, and I'm like, okay. I get
Hey,
excited because it's another woman that I get the chance, the potential chance to help. And there's not a person who has inquired about my services, that basically hasn't signed a contract with me. We talk first before signing anything, and they like the vibe, I like the vibe, and we keep it moving.
hey, I like that. I like that. What's up, everybody? Let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Bartu Wilson. I'm a pharmacist that was featured in one of the most prestigious publications, Marquis Who's Who, in 2021 as a top medical professional of the world because of my impact through medication therapy management, outreach programs, and networking. I started my own podcast, Pill Talk Podcast, to sit down and talk with other top medical professionals about their journey. Some of the topics that we cover in our conversations are their career path choice, education level needed to practice in their career field, and most importantly, how they're impacting the lives of the patients that they see daily. So, I would like for you to join me every Monday at 6 p.m. as I release new episodes so you can learn about the different medical fields from the top professionals themselves. I just want to let you know that Pill Talk Podcast is just not a podcast, it's your medicine. The daily dose you need to educate, motivate, and inspire to live at your full potential. So become an empowered leader and start to dream bigger with Pill Talk Podcast. So I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and support the podcast by becoming an active listener and purchasing some merchandise. Thank you. That right there, I got a couple of questions behind that. Question number one, I think you kind of just said the answer a little bit, but I want you to go a little more detail on how do you actually get your clients? First, like talk about how you got your first client, number one, and then how do you market yourself and how do you get other clients going forward now?
Okay.
If you
Well,
don't
for
mind
the
speaking
most
about
part,
that.
oh, okay. Well, for the most part, like I'm a social person and I'm pretty active on social media. I kind of cut back because I wanted to present my social media in a way that would be intriguing to others, that was related to what I was doing and was trying to do at the time. I got my first client actually by posting my certification online. I took a picture. I'm like, yeah, guys, Facebook. I'm certified now, call me out. I got the discounts for you. Let's do this. And I was just talking really like I knew it was going to happen, but I just didn't think so soon. And as soon as I posted that, I had someone inbox me and was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a doula. Like, congratulations. And I'm like, thank you. And she was like, yeah, I want you to be an advocate for my niece. And I was like, me? And she was like, yeah, you're a cool person. I think you would be a great fit for her. And I was like, okay, I paused and I was like, you know what? I'm trained to do this. It's okay. So I put my words to the side. I got that and I started coming up with a plan. I was like, okay, you got your first client, but what are you going to do to keep it coming? What are you going to do to keep it steady? Mm-hmm. So before actually taking the class, I created my business page because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. It's fine. Like, don't worry, but I won't publish it yet. And I'm grateful that I did. And I'm like a proactive person because I was able to just hit publish on Facebook and all my content was there. So I was able to add to it the pictures that we did in class and everything I've done. I was able to add to it to make it more appealing. I market pretty much on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Now I do have a website that is great, and it's easier for clients to get get their questions answered versus trying to email me and waiting for a response. You can pretty much go there and figure out what you need or what type of service you want, and then it comes to me. But my biggest market is on Instagram. Like those, it's just easier there. I feel like my followers and everybody, it just grows and it helps. So them hashtags.
That's what it is. My next question, right, is the services that you provide. Can you give us a breakdown of that and like what do you actually do for the mother that's about to bear or have a kid?
Okay, yeah, I can break that down. So my services, they come in right now, they come in 3 different packages. So my focus is really like I love teen moms, people don't understand them. So, and I also would love, I love catering to my community. We are always trying to find services that are extremely too high and you don't get enough. You don't get your worth, but you're paying these high prices because you feel like, oh yeah, this is the route, this is what I need to do. So what I started doing, I broke it down. So for like lower income people, I have set packages for them because I don't want to deny them of those services. So I break it down in a way, yes, you're getting those services and I'm going to make sure I advocate for you, if you pay this amount versus this amount, the same, nothing is changing, but I still want to be able to cater to everyone. So I have packages for lower income families. I have regular packages and I pretty much kind of fill out a person first. And if they tell me like, hey, Lakesha, I really want your services, but times are hard. I don't have anybody. to support me, but this is what I really want to do. I need you. And I'm like, okay, let's talk. Let's come out with a plan. So I'll sit down with them and go over everything that I offer, and I customize a package to cater to their specific needs. And then we come up, I'm like, okay, so what can you afford? What can we do? Because yes, I love to get paid for what I do. I still have a family, but I still want to help my community. So that's just pretty much a breakdown. And with my placenta encapsulation, I give my clients who sign on with me, and have me as their labor and support doula, I give them a discount. I kind of offer a discount on that versus if you just want placenta encapsulation. With my breastfeeding education, I add those into the packages as well, or I can do them separate because you have some moms who come to me and already know what they want. They just need a certain thing. Okay, let's customize this for you. If you want it all, let's make it fit. I do have set prices, but it doesn't always work out that way because, like I said, I'm not in this just to turn people away because they can't pay. Like, I will find out how we can help you and what I can do to make sure you have a successful birth.
Can you tell us what the services are that you do?
Yeah. So I offer labor and labor support. We do where I do prenatal visits, and with my packages it's kind of like a long list, so I'll try to break it down, and you ask whatever you need.
All right.
So with the first package, I'll tell you about that. It's pretty much where we do one prenatal visit where I come sit down, go over a birth plan with you and your spouse if you have one, and we kind of keep in touch over the phone where they'll call me if they need me. Now, the tier one package, that's like the smallest package. So they know it's pretty much for new moms or moms who just can't afford it, but they really want. So they get about 8 hours of labor support. I stay with them for an hour and a half up to 2 hours after they gave birth to make sure they're adjusting to their baby. If they need help with latching, I teach them how to breastfeed. I help them with that. And then my job is basically done unless they're having some complications where I really need to stay. Because even though, they pick this package and I do stick to my packages, but things happen and I'm not a mean person. Like, if I see you going through something, I just can't leave you there on that bed just like, okay, my 2 hours up, I'm timing you, let me go. Like, no, I make sure they're comfortable because giving birth is really serious. It's a great thing, but it's very emotional too. So I try to make sure they're in a great mindset before leaving. And
That's
that pretty
nice.
much concludes the first package. You don't really get a postpartum visit with that unless we move up to the tier two. And that's when you'll get the 2 visits after I supported you in the labor room.
Okay. Okay. And then you talked about placenta encapsulation. So that's really, I think I saw it on a movie once. You know what I'm saying? And where they grinded it up and then put it in the capsule.
Yeah. It's so
Okay.
funny when guys say it, but yes.
What's, if you don't mind breaking it down, like what's the benefit of taking your placenta like a daily vitamin? What's the benefits of it if you could tell us?
Yeah, there's many benefits. It basically replenish your body. During childbirth, we lose a lot of blood. So with you taking your placenta, it helps with the restoration of your iron after all the blood loss. It helps decrease the chances of postpartum depression. It helps with bonding with your baby. You're pretty much just getting all those nutrients that you lost put back in your body. So it can give you energy. Man, it's so much. Like, yeah, definitely the main thing is energy, restoring your iron from blood loss, and just decreasing the chances of postpartum depression. And I've had a lot of great feedback from from people taking their encapsulated placenta.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I thought about it. I saw it on some movies and something. I'm like, yo, that would be pretty cool. I think I think it was like one family that like cooked it and ate it. And then
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
one
you can
family
do
that
that.
like did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it in a smoothie. You can dehydrate it and mix it with your vegetables. Like it can be turned into, you can put it in your brownies. You can do all type of stuff. Like I even offer a tincture where it is fermented for 6 weeks. So people usually do the bundle where they want their placenta encapsulated and then they want the tincture as well. The tincture is like the liquid form of the placenta, but it takes 6 weeks to be made. So there's a process to that too. It's like where you take four chunks of the placenta, you put it in a mason jar, and we're using like vegan alcohol, vegan vodka alcohol, pour it in there. But it's a trick to it though. So like every 2 to 3 days, you got to make sure you're shaking it, making sure it's in a dark, cool place. Um, and then once it's done, we transfer it to dark amber bottles just to protect it. And they use it as drops. Like if they're feeling, it helps with your mood. It kind of calms you, soothes you. And it's great for babies with teething too. You can also put a little bit on their gums, put a little drop in their bottle. And the drops it's very potent. So the tincture is equal to the capsule. So you got to be careful. And I always explain this to people. I'm like, don't try to go and just drink it all. No, we're doing drops for a reason.
Okay. Okay. That's what it
Yeah.
is. So you
Yeah.
mixing it with alcohol, like liquor?
Yeah, but the tincture, yes. So it has to sit in there.
So they can get, they can take a couple shots of that and feel some type of way.
I mean, yeah, I wish I had that back in my day. I really, I had my daughter young at 19, so I didn't have all of this that I'm able to give women now. But I sure wish, because those tinctures be having those moms feeling good. They're able to be present with their baby, able to be in the moment. Like they just feel good. They don't feel sad and down after they're done with the placenta pills. Then that's by the time they're done with the pills, it's time to get your tincture. So it's just feeling good all the way around. And I
Man,
haven't had anybody reported any postpartum depression to me yet. So it's been pretty good.
that's what's up. That's what's up. But that is was something I thought about. I was like, man, I wonder if like, but you see something in the movie, you don't know if it's really like transferable to like real life.
Yeah.
But now I know that's a good thing there.
Oh,
Then you
yeah, it's
also say
real.
you help with breastfeeding, right?
Yes, it does help with the flow of your breast milk. Um, those pills, just like with the nutrients in it, all of that you're putting in you, and of course that liquid gold from the breast milk that's going into the baby, all of those benefits help mom and the baby to just be present with each other. So you're not
Um,
feeling like, oh my gosh, like I gotta breastfeed this baby. It pretty much gives you like that, put some pep in your step, kind of. So you like, but you're more present. Like I had one mom told me, like she's like, girl, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you talked to me. You talked me into having my placenta encapsulated. I feel great. Like I even used her as a testimonial on my Instagram page. Like she started taking her pills. She lost her baby weight quick. She even posted pictures. Like it was amazing. I was just like, wow, God, I really believe. Like I believed before, but keeping track of her and seeing how she was in her stomach, and then seeing her 3 weeks after, and I'm like, wow, like, like listen, I am a firm believer in what I do. Don't get me wrong, but that right there added like it boosted me all the way up here. I can't even.
that's what it
Like,
is.
yes, that's what we doing.
That's what it is.
It's
Um,
crazy. It's true.
you also talked about helping mothers connect with their baby through breastfeeding, right? You do that as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So, can you first give out some good information on the benefits of breastfeeding before I go to the next question?
Yeah. So the benefits of breastfeeding, it pretty much protects your baby. Um, it helps. decrease their chances of being easily infected, or it decreases their chances of getting sick. And not to, say that babies who don't breastfeed doesn't mature or doesn't develop quicker, but it just seems like, and study shows, like when you're bonding and breastfeeding with your baby, that really helps with the developmental stages. It really, the nutrients and everything, it's just like that moment of, I honestly, I can't even describe it. It's just like that joy. And I'll tell you, it's
I,
just so much great things.
yeah, I know
I have
like,
a whole list of things we can go through.
oh, we can go through them, but I know like you said it, but just in different words. Like one of the benefits of like breastfeeding is the baby is able to get the mother's immune system, so it doesn't have to go through like all the like playing in the dirt and like all of this other stuff to build its own. The mother
Yeah,
automatically gives the baby hers, so the baby's immune to a whole array of things initially off jump. So that keeps the
yeah,
baby from getting like sick. Cause like when you sometimes, like me working in a pharmacy, it's certain people that come in regularly because their baby is always getting some type of infection. And
yes,
you can always tell when someone breastfeeds because you're like, oh, you got a very strong, um, energetic little child. Is because
yes,
he gets the mother's immune system and all everything good from her. He's getting it through, like you said, we call it the
from
golden
the
milk.
mom, yeah.
Uh,
And the perfect thing about breastfeeding is you don't overfeed your child. So they're not going to be like, oh, your baby is overweight, you're giving them too much formula. Whereas, you give a baby formula in a bottle, sometimes the baby can just keep sucking, and then mom will feel like, no, that ain't enough. Let me fix him another, he or she another bottle, when you shouldn't be doing that. I support everybody's choices. If you want to put your baby on formula, that's fine. But when you're breastfeeding, it kind of helps with to protect you from overfeeding your baby. The
yeah,
baby knows when he's full, he or she is full. They know when to stop. And I mean, it's easier. You can lay in bed and feed the baby, and both of y'all can sleep and do whatever. So I just feel like that's a lot easier. Everybody should do it, but hey, I respect whoever choices, whatever. It's fine.
and it is simple, easy ways out there for mothers who probably feel uncomfortable breastfeeding in public, anything like that, because they got like machines where you can
Yeah,
pump um, at home and then just give your baby the milk in the
yeah.
bottle.
Of course. Yes, I know a lot of people who, they aren't ashamed of breastfeeding. I have a homegirl, she'll pull it out wherever. And she's like, look, my baby got to eat. I'm doing this. And it's fine. But then you have those who, they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to share all of that. So they will go somewhere and pump. And that's why I feel like more facilities, although they're trying to make it seem like they're offering rooms for moms to breastfeed, I just feel like that should be everywhere, no matter what type of place of business it is, because breastfeeding is just normal. They should just normalize that. A mom shouldn't have to feel scared or ashamed that she needs to pull her breast out. And I'm not saying just pop it out in front of everybody and be like, here it goes. But she can
It's a
cover up
normal
if she's
thing.
sitting here. Yeah, let her do it. Let her feed her baby. I feel like if it was more, if America would normalize breastfeeding, then it would be easier for moms to want to have breastfeeding as a choice, like for their first option.
I do know some businesses, like if you are a new mother and you breastfeed, like they give you some time during your shift to go pump. Yeah.
What is it?
Some of these companies, what I mean, you got to ask for it because like a lot of
Okay.
employers, they know it, but they want to
Yeah.
be so productive, like have the job being so productive that they're not going to like, hey, you know, you're breastfeeding, you got a 15 minutes to go pump. Would you like to take it?
Yeah.
They probably just feel like, hey, if you don't know it, you don't know it. So that is one thing out there. If anybody's listening, if you are breastfeeding or considering it, to like go to your employer and be like, hey, so when I come back, do you give me enough time to go pump so I can have milk for my baby? And I
I
need a
love that.
refrigerator to store it too. Like,
Well, see, and that's where I was getting to. Okay, yeah, they'll tell you. I get what you're saying. And I've worked at a few doctors' offices where some did, some didn't, until like recent years where they're like, oh, this is serious. Because women, they still have to come to work, but they still have to pump too. But at the same time, when they're pumping, I've seen when I worked at, I'm not gonna say the name, but when I worked at a certain place, the manager will leave the office for the staff to go in and pump. Or if it's a doctor that's pumping, I had a doctor who she was serious about her pumping. She was not playing. She just kicked all the doctors out the doctor's area and she pumped in there. But it still made her feel rushed because she's like, what if I leave something? And she's like the only female doctor here, and you're around a bunch of men. No shade to guys, but like they see that they don't want to see it in the workplace. They're like, oh yes, I'm a doctor, I know what it is, but at the same time, it's that feeling you get like, oh, I need to move because she needs to pump her milk again or do whatever. But then after she does that, where's she gonna put it? Then you see her pulling in a big old cooler because they don't have a fridge designated for it. So it makes it hard. Everybody can't afford a nice cooler like that.
Yeah.
So we wasting milk.
So I got another question for you. How's the work-life balance being a holistic doula? Like, are you able to focus on your family and your and everything on finding peace and also being able to do this full time or whatever?
Yeah, well, I will say at first, I was pretty much all over the place because I was trying to make sure I was able to be there for any client who reached out to me. I was losing sleep because I'm like, oh, keeping my phone on. Like, what if my client going about to go in labor? Or I know I need to do this for school, for me personally, because I'm still in school. Or I need to do this as a wife, as a mom. So I was all over the place, which caused me to have like frequent headaches. So I really had to sit down. Um, and I'm a planner, like I like to plan things, but I found myself just not using it and trying to remember everything. And I was just like, nah, that's not gonna work. I was all over the place. So for me to find balance, and it has gotten a lot better. I'm working on it
That's what's up.
still. I make sure I write everything down. I put it in my calendar, work computer, cell phone, wherever I need to. But I still make sure I schedule that time or set aside time where I'm still able to rest, or at least try to rest. Because once my brain starts, it doesn't stop. Still be a wife, still be a mom, without feeling overwhelmed. So I feel like as long as I do that and know what I'm working with and don't try to take all the clients, like overbooking just to say I have clients, I don't do that. Um, just doing those things has helped me a lot. So I feel a lot less stress nowadays.
So basically, planning everything out, keeping an itinerary has helped you keep
Yes,
the work-life balance going.
definitely, most definitely. Because if I don't have my planner, then yeah, I probably will start freaking out.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what's up. That's what's up. So, my last question for you is, what are the career goals or what are your next steps from here? What do you see yourself 5 years from here?
So 5 years from now, I should have my office space where I have this sacred space for women, and girls like me, who I once was, where I was a young mom and I needed somebody to talk to. I just needed a place to vent. So I see myself opening up a business where I can have all of those things there, like a safe space. I've been working with different organizations where I collect different types of formula, breast pumps, for moms who are in need and can't get those things. And I'm trying to like keep baby stuff. I'm trying to turn my shed right now into like my workshop and just keep all of that stuff there for moms. But my biggest goal is just having that space, that office space. I want it to be sunflower births, and you just pull up. I'm there. You come in, the ambiance is right. You can go over there to the breastfeeding room if you need to. I can probably get a therapist to come in to help you these girls out. Get a massage therapist because I have a few friends that are. I met with a lot of chiropractors. So those are things that are in the works, but I'm just the type of person that I don't like to speak on it too much or go into too many details until I'm like, yeah, it's here. And then I'll just show you. But that's my goal.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I hope it comes to light. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can be a part of that too. Let me do
Yes.
something with and any part that you need help with that, let me know. I'll be down for that. But yeah,
Thank
we
you.
definitely need a safe place for women like that. It sounds really amazing. If people want to get in contact with you, if somebody needs a holistic doula, please let them know your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your website. Let them know how they can get in contact with you, please.
Listen, I'm on Yelp, Yelp. I'm on Google. You can find me, just type in my name and literally everything will come up. I'm on Facebook, Sunflower Births LLC. I'm on TikTok, Sunflower Quiche. Twitter, Sunflower Doula Quiche, and Instagram, Sunflower Doula _Quiche. I know, just type in Sunflower and Quiche and it will connect you. My website is www.sunflowerbirthsllc.com.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Keish, for coming on Pill Talk Podcast, giving out all this good information about holistic doulas and what all you guys do, especially for the Black mothers out there and everything like that. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right.